Great to be
How
here
are
as
you?
always.
Evening,
Ask.
good
Yeah.
morning, good afternoon. Well, I don't think that, yeah, it's got to be an afternoon down there somewhere. But yes, hello guys. Always great to see
Yeah.
you both.
Love
Yeah.
that. I love this.
And
Like this feels like a weekly check-in for me,
Yeah.
where I
yeah,
get to reflect with
yeah,
like-minded people. Right? It's my
indeed,
therapy.
indeed.
It's very
I get to
therapeutic
learn
for
as
me too.
well.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
I think I learn more than I give, even though I talk a lot. But so, your turn.
Mm. What are you
Oh,
drinking
sorry.
there, Mr.
Oh,
Rumi?
bubbly
Ooh,
cherry.
bubbly.
Oh, oh, nice.
I don't think I've
What's that?
touched
I'm
water
curious.
in a long time. So
Nice.
Really?
We got a little product placement there.
I know. That's why it's a nutrition facts part. So I know, like, if I'm gonna be actually sponsored by Bubbly, then yes, I will display
Yeah.
it. But no, really exciting. Again, to have my friends here, Andre and Luke, on the talk, and of course, welcome anyone that's currently watching the channel too to just chime in. Today's topic is about your journey, your process. Also, we're going to talk a little bit about your love languages and how you receive love, and also what was the other topic? There's one more: self sabotage and also celebration.
Mhm.
So, just kind of in your journey, how do those kind of perspectives fall into place for you?
Mm.
Uh, but yeah, love languages. Andre was very kind to share a link that can help you discover your own love languages. So
Mm.
definitely do check it out. I think it takes about a good 10 minutes
Yeah.
to kind of go through. I thought I was done, but I was like, oh
Mm.
crap, I was only halfway. So it was quite a long process, but definitely worth doing. And I think as I did the questions too, the way the questions were asked made me, oh, awesome, Govinder.
Hey, Govinda. Welcome.
Welcome. Yeah. Oh, appreciate you being here too.
Hey, Kawinda.
Definitely stronger as a team. So join in the conversation, and it'll become so much richer. So, but just talking about the love languages part, when I answered the questions and how they kind of like framed the answers, I was like, oh yeah, there's one that I definitely gear more towards because it's always comparing two, right? It's like which one do you
Mm.
prefer? And I was like, okay, this is I know I'm and definitely it's the appreciation side. Appreciation is a big piece for me, and
Mm.
just acknowledgement.
Mm.
Like not really
Mm.
gift giving. Like I actually don't care about gifts too much. But yeah, and also the touch part where it's like the hug. So
Wow. Okay.
yeah, so
Mm.
that
Mm. Mm.
definitely is a big piece for me. So oh, hello Nadia,
Hey, Nadia.
welcome. Great
Hey,
to
Yes.
see
Nadia.
you too.
So yours is words of affirmation and touch, Romy?
Mm.
Yes,
Mm.
affirmation and touch. How about you guys?
Man, hey, if you and I were in a
Yeah.
relationship, we'd be like bang on right away
Perfect.
because mine's the same thing, right?
Oh
Sometimes you luck
really?
out and you're with someone and you're speaking the same language right
Yeah,
away. So
that's
yeah,
why.
mine's words
That's
of
why we're here
affirmation.
every Tuesday. So probably
Yeah. Well, there
probably
we
Luke
go.
might be the same too. Luke, have you
Well,
done the test or
it's
read
it's
the book? Or?
I have done it a while back. It's funny, isn't it? Like mine is
Yeah,
words of affirmation as well.
cool.
I
Awesome.
wonder whether it's an upbringing thing as well.
Yeah.
Growing up in Asian culture, I remember not getting much of that. The validation piece. And I
Yeah.
think quality time is my other love language. So yeah,
Oh,
but
that
it's just really interesting. I'm just hearing all of you guys. Words of affirmation is a big one for us, isn't it?
I don't
Yeah.
know. I think we
It's
get
a cultural thing?
no. I think another
Yeah.
thing is probably we give it a lot. We give words of
Mm,
affirmation a lot to others.
Mm.
I
mm.
find that it's
True.
not usually reciprocated. Not that I ask for it, but when it
Mm,
does happen, it feels really, really good. It's like, Romy, I just
mm,
want to let you know that I appreciate everything that you're doing. It's kind of like where Govinder just said,
Mhm.
appreciate what you guys are doing here. Like that makes me feel amazing. I'm like, I'll do it anytime, any day right now after
mm,
you said that. So,
mm,
um, it's maybe the lack of the act of us doing a lot of it.
mm,
Potentially,
Mm.
I'm just saying. Because yeah,
Yeah,
I do give words of affirmation or these love languages. I try to give as much as I can, depending on the situation, right? So, in all
right,
the different
right.
mm,
perspectives, right? So,
Considerate of it, right? If there's a scenario where I
Yeah.
can give in all ways that I
Yes.
can, then I
Yeah.
cover all the bases. In a sense, like
Exactly.
if I go up and public speak, I make sure I speak in a way where I use words like feeling or
Yes.
see
Mm,
for people that are visual
mm,
or
Yep.
hear
Yep.
auditory, right?
mm,
So
Yeah.
if I can have
mm,
the chance to cover all bases, I will. But what I
Yes.
realized too,
mm,
that words of affirmation, why is this so important to me? And I feel
Mm.
like it could be that lack that I got from my childhood, just like
Yeah.
Luke.
mm,
Yeah. Yeah.
And as I got
definitely.
older and I started investing into myself and knowing my self-worth,
Mm-hmm.
I've noticed that it became less important.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm,
I still give it because I,
Yeah.
I understand I've been there before, though I don't crave it or need it as much as I did before.
Yeah. 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 For
mm,
sure. No, totally. And interesting enough, I did get very very solid words of affirmation as a child. Um,
mm,
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe because it's less now that I'm an adult that I don't get it from like my mom gives words of affirmation too when we're together, but it's different now that I'm an adult. I have a son. It's yeah, it feels different. It's like I give it constantly to Asher, where it's like, "Oh, you're doing a
Mm.
great job." Blah, blah. Everything's like words of affirmation. Everything like hugs, and high fives,
Hugs.
gifts. He probably doesn't know yet, so it doesn't really matter at the moment. Um, but yeah, it's very much like you said. If we can cover all bases when we're communicating,
mm.
even for the visuals, for the audibles, and also for I think what's the other one, like speech? No,
Uh,
that's right. Touch.
kinesthetic,
Kinesthetic, yeah,
touch.
touch,
Kinesthetic,
right? Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Feeling.
exactly. Yeah, so if
Mm.
those three can be displayed during your presentation, I think people absorb way better, right? Here, Nadia says, "When we heal, we want. We don't need
Yeah.
anymore, not in a negative way." Sure, sure. Yeah, I
Mm.
agree.
Yeah.
Govinder also said, "What totally agree with you, Romy. My love language, I think, falls more on emotional side than anything else. Getting and giving respect, for example.
Mm,
Yeah, totally. I think that's
mm,
the
mm. Sweet.
affirmation side. Gives you this kind of a confirmation that you are worth it and you have purpose.
Mm.
So that's definitely really powerful. But yeah, for you, Luke, is it you said it was quite similar to Andre, just like what Andre shared?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
for me, when I think back of my past, my childhood, I never really got it from the
Mm,
environment that was kind of brought up in. It was always like being compared and critical to a certain degree. So
yeah.
that was, I felt like growing up, I always had that kind of void. And even so, right now with my wife, we have conversations and I know what her love language is. Her love language
Mhm.
is gift. So I do try and fulfill that as much as possible. But I think we had a conversation the other day and saying, like I love for there's a little bit of a tap on the shoulder, say you're doing an okay job, and she thinks, no, I really need you there, but I guess I always, for me, maybe it's something that I need to feel. I don't know. I'm
Mm,
still looking into it, that validation piece, but I
yeah.
feel like I really need. At this point, I do crave that because I think I work a lot alone. And I feel a lot of responsibility, being wearing many hats, being a son, being a father, being a coach, being an entrepreneur. So I think I feel like I think like what you shared earlier, Romy, I'm just kind of giving that a lot, giving that validation to others, and sometimes it's just nice to have that kind of come back a little bit here and there, especially from not from external sources, but not from people in my extended network, but people that I care my love, my closest and dearest. And
Mm.
Sienna, when I say good night to her at night, I don't expect it from her, but when she says, "I love you, Papa," good night, Papa. It means
Of
so much
course.
to me.
Your
So
heart
I
melts,
think
right? So
Mm.
my heart melts. It's like I
mm,
love you so much. I wake up just before bed and she said, I love you too, Papa. It just feels
yeah,
so really
of
warm.
course.
So yeah, so I think you know what
Yeah.
it's like. Well, does Asher
No, they're like blah, blah, blah,
yeah,
blah,
no.
blah. Probably just random words. I just make
Yeah.
up the words so that it's probably like I love you, Papa too. But yeah, I don't think he like voices it that way.
Indeed.
But no, it totally just yeah, it's always that acknowledgement of existence.
Mm,
It's almost all
mm,
we need.
mm,
Like we
mm,
have this kind of
Mm.
a drive to constantly give out energy, like without holding
mm,
back. Yeah, and
mm,
it does feel good that when someone just acknowledges. Not they don't even
Yeah.
have to really appreciate. It's like, oh,
Mm,
cool. I see you there. And I'll be, oh, cool. I'm glad
Mm,
you see me. Something
mm,
like that. It doesn't have
mm,
to be like full
mm,
appreciation, but um yeah, I'm starting to understand that a lot more. Or I learned to kind of be a little bit more selective in
mm,
where and who and how much I give out. So I'm learning how to fine tune that piece too, in terms of not overly exhausting myself, so that I can actually give more, rather than
mm,
mm,
like fully going out
mm,
all out.
right, right. So that's a great point there. It's like compassion, right? Giving is
Mm,
is a strength. Though
hmm.
when it's abused, that's when we overstep our boundaries, right? We burn out and we
mm,
get taken advantage of. Yeah. So
Totally.
it's learning how to take that as a strength, but
Hmm.
not overuse it.
Yeah,
mm,
yeah, yeah. And it's hard to, I think, decipher kind of, when, where, and how much to do it until you've done it
mm,
enough that
Mm,
like where is the
mm,
best kind of return on investment, right? That it comes in. And I know it becomes conditional, like ultimately, if I had enough energy, enough money, enough time, I'd give like fully unconditionally. But just being
mm,
human, you have to learn how to rest and recover too. So been learning that a lot more lately. And when the body gets worn
mm,
down and you're trying to do too much, you can't give anything. When you wake up, you're
mm,
exhausted. You're like, oh, I think I need about 2 or 3 days of actually just resting, right? But yeah, I've kind of hit a bit of a physical wall last few days, because last week been pushing pretty hard. And then yeah, I felt a lot better today too, and was able to do some pretty constructive stuff in terms of business and connections and PR and stuff like that. So yeah, have to program that time in. Nadia says giving or receiving only
yeah.
is very overwhelming. Yeah, setting boundaries is definitely very important, as you said, Andre.
yeah,
Totally, yeah.
mm,
But boundaries is as important as giving love. So yeah, I don't. It's kind of hard to set in the beginning though, like boundaries. It's like you're setting conditions before you give, but then you kind of have to do it that way if you want to give a lot.
yeah.
Otherwise,
And,
the other person might not appreciate it. So,
and
Mm,
I guess it's
mm,
also knowing your versus setting boundaries, but knowing where your own boundaries are at the start, right?
mm,
Because sometimes you don't know where your own boundaries are until they have been crossed, and then
totally.
all hell breaks loose, and that kind of triggers every negative emotion. It triggers a whole barrage of emotions. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
yeah.
think it's being able to
It's
define
yeah.
where. Yeah, go ahead, Andre.
Oh, oh, you continue. Go ahead, and I do have a
Yeah,
comment
no,
after
just
you.
yeah. So I mean, I pretty much ended my comment there. So
Oh,
you can go ahead. Yeah.
yeah. I just had this analogy of like two countries, right? And one country
Mm,
invading another country and like trying to
mm,
stretch their territory until they
mm,
meet
mm,
resistance, and then they got to go fall back and draw that line, that border between the two
Mm,
countries to coexist.
yeah,
mm,
yeah,
Yeah. So part of
yeah.
having to experience to know where it is, right, to draw the line. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, that was recently. Jordan Peterson came out with a course with. Forgot what the publication is, but it's called Dragons, Monsters, and Men, where dragons are the challenges in life and the gates, kind of. Like, usually there's something, when you're in a fairy tale story, what you want, the treasure is behind the dragon, basically.
Mm,
Whereas monsters is you kind of want to push yourself to become a monster before you can truly understand your potential.
mm,
And then you
mm,
rein it back to become like a true
mm,
man, and have substance, which is awesome because it is the same thing we're
mm.
talking about here, where you fully stretch to see your potential,
I guess.
and
Mm,
then you refine back, to
mm,
see where you can
mm.
just have your
Interesting.
energy best allocated, right? So, totally a great point, and I think I might actually, take a look at that program too, and just kind of how he delivers it.
mm,
But no, it's really really interesting. I think it's always that kind of setting, like understanding how powerful you are before you hold back. a lot of people start by holding back because they might be scared of seeing how powerful they can be or how crazy they can get. But if you never
Mm.
explore, you never know what that ceiling would be, I guess. So
Yeah, yeah. To
yeah,
stretch it, and
yeah,
Nadia says
Mm.
like it's very easy to find boundaries when we feel into it, our
yeah, yeah,
energy.
yeah. Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. No,
yeah. And
totally, totally.
I
Yeah,
would ignore my feelings. Like I would not acknowledge
engage.
it. I think would engage it.
Mm.
I would just numb it,
Mm.
right? Or just go
Mm.
over it. And guess what happens? You get burnt out,
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
yeah, yeah. No, I think that's kind of how the culture use it, like has taught us to cope with just
Mm.
emotions. It's the Chinese culture, I think. It's like you just kind of like ignore, anything too touchy feely. And yeah, time
Mm.
will pass and you'll be back to normal kind of thing. So
Yeah.
but now being in North America, it's like, especially nowadays, it's telling you to truly like go deep, explore,
Mm.
who you are. Like, yes, Jordan Peterson definitely nailed it there. He said everyone should be a monster, but once you become one, you should manage your own power
Mm.
and know when to
Mm,
lock or unlock them. I think
Mm.
that's when he called them, you become a warrior. A true
mm.
warrior is
Mm.
having all that power, but knowing, how to
When to
utilize
use
it.
it.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Mm.
Yeah.
exactly.
Warner. Better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love
yeah.
that one. I love that one.
I know. It's like cutting trees.
Mm.
That'd be hilarious. But no, that's
Yeah.
awesome. So again, people, if you're just joining us, we have explored the love languages side briefly. So I'll post it here again for the friends that haven't seen it yet. So go check it out. It takes about a good 10 minutes to kind of go through, 10 to 15 minutes to find out your own languages. And you can get your friends and family to do it too, so that you probably can know how they are loved, and
Mm.
focus on giving to them that way.
Mhm.
I swear your relationship's going to be a lot better too, because I found mine definitely that way. I've never really shared kind of my own reception of love languages, but I think I'll probably share that a bit more. Not that I seek it desperately or like I'm really,
Mm.
really like, thirsty about it, but it's good to have people acknowledge you the way that, you're meant to be acknowledged. But yeah, second point today we're gonna talk about is self-sabotage. So Andre, I don't know if you want to jump on that point a little bit of
Yeah.
how that happens.
Yeah. Like it's kind of realizing that I'm always getting in my own way, right? And
Mm.
through
Mm,
this journey, I just noticed that it's up and down, right?
mm,
And the down moment is like when I'm having these thoughts that keep getting worse and worse. So the
Mm.
idea of having a conversation around is okay, what are those thoughts and what are your ways to help get you out of that so that you're on the upswing again?
mm.
I'm normalizing it. Like I'm telling you,
Mm.
like everyone self sabotages,
Oh yeah.
Mm.
and only until I own that and admit that I can look at okay, how can I catch that and then switch from that quickly because
Mm.
it's sneaky. Because the self sabotaging behavior, one thing I've discovered is that it lies to me. It says it's
Mm.
good for me when it's not,
Yeah.
and it's a kind of like short term gain, but long
Long term.
term pain.
Mm.
Totally.
Yeah,
Agree.
yeah. That just comes off for me because I know I have my coach as well. And it's funny because this week I was great. Well, the previous week I was a wreck, right? And that was a safe space for me to kind of vocalize what's going on in my life.
Hmm.
Right? So I just find it
Hmm.
as an emotional roller coaster. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
do you find that with that particular theme, is there a common theme where that self sabotage is happening? Is there a common theme,
Yes,
common yeah, and
absolutely.
what would that kind of theme be if you don't mind?
Absolutely.
If
The
you do,
theme
that's
is
great. Yep.
whenever I'm stretching and doing something new, and
Mm.
whenever I'm taking on new things, it's the unknown, and the same
Mm.
thoughts keep coming up. Like, am I good enough? Am I capable? Am I
Mm.
doing this right? I doubt myself, right? And it happens every time. And I've been stretching for some time now,
Yeah.
consistently. And I notice it still comes up over and over again. So it's like whenever I go for a sprint or start stretching, that my self sabotaging behavior comes in and tricks me. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
take it easy, stay comfortable. Keep doing what you're doing. Don't try something else, right? And then the sanity, the definition of sanity comes into play. It
Yeah, yeah,
tricks me
yeah.
to say,
Keep doing the
just
same
keep
thing.
working harder. Just keep working harder. It's gonna work out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I catch it quicker now. Yeah.
That's
Does
awesome.
that happen before you make a decision or after you make a decision to do
Oh,
something?
both. Both.
Well,
Before making the
Where?
decision, it prevents me from making the decision. And then after making the decision, it doubts me that I made the right decision.
Wow. But how about
Yeah.
after the thing is done? Like, does it come back
yeah,
again? It's like, why did you do it? No, no, no. It's like, so there's,
Yeah. So
yeah.
after it's done, it's actually fine because I'm on to the
Okay, yeah.
next thing. So
Yeah. Yeah.
it's like
Mm,
the Ire or Sauron or Lord of the Rings is
Yeah.
now looking on the
mm,
next thing to critique.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know it's never ending, right? So
Never
yeah.
ending. Yeah.
yeah, it's kind
Yeah.
of scary that way. I don't know how I deal with it. Is it right now? I think it's kind of that controller is coming in, and also I think the restlessness part originally was my main one, where it's like I have to find something valuable to do. But I remember I
Mm,
talked about the D&D in a Castle event that really the people valued who I was. That restlessness actually
mm,
calmed down a lot
Mm,
because it's like, okay, there's one aspect of my life that I, took time to build that has rewarded me. So I can not safely, but at least confidently keep moving at that pace towards that direction. So I have one thing kind of taken care of. Now it's like, my photography business locally at home, and also building kind of the new badminton industry here in North America, and that's a huge undertaking.
mm,
But
totally.
hopefully it'll be really, really rewarding at the end of the tunnel. So I'm trying to personally find these like major kind of cylinders of silos of energies to focus on. So the restlessness doesn't come in as much, but the
mm,
controller type kind of comes in, and it's really exhausting. So my physical side starts, going downwards, and I pay for it by not feeling 100%, if not anything like
Mm,
50% of my actual capacity, right? Like
mm,
I feel better now, but I'm tired. So it's like,
mm,
how do I actually rest better, right? So,
mm,
but yeah, to Nadia's point here, self-sabotage is a product of fear. So when we acknowledge and we are aware of it, we can definitely change it. And yeah, I think it
mm,
comes from, that perspective again of from fear is like lack, everything's not enough. And everything can't happen. Where on the flip side of love, it's about abundance and possibilities
mm,
and solutions. So it's kind of how can you see things in abundance and in love, and everyone around you is going to be, covered and blanketed by the care and love that you have. I think
mm,
you can come from that direction. It's really powerful because people feel it.
mm,
mm,
When you don't have a lack of anything, and you're just confident about everything, and you love everybody and want to help everyone, and there's an appreciation and an acknowledgement that will always be shown in different ways that you probably won't ever have never experienced before, right? So,
yeah.
uh,
And I agree as well. There are days when you wake up that everything just feels great. Whether it's just the people that you speak to, whether it's at home or at
mm,
work, and everything seems to be in flow.
yeah,
You just feel uncomfortable. However, on the flip side, there are days where you wake
exactly.
up and you just
You want to go
feel
back
like
to sleep?
everything's up. Yeah, you want
Yeah,
to go back to sleep.
yeah,
Your life's up, and then for me at least, I do a stock take of how my life sucks at that point in time. Like I will say, all right, I'm not feeling motivated today,
mm,
or
mm,
my business is not going the way. If I start seeing trends of everything around me making me feel a way, it could be just one of those days, and
mm,
realizing that
mm,
okay, it's just not a good day. Maybe I didn't sleep well, maybe I didn't recover well, and
yeah,
not use that as a reference point for who I am. Because we get good days and we get bad days, and for
yeah,
me, like I used to think that that was my identity. This shit day is I'm shit, basically.
mm,
But and sometimes it's to take a good sleep, and to also for
yes,
me just to wallow in it for a little while. Like
yeah,
okay, yeah, I'm having a shit day and actually accept it versus fight it. And then after that, just dust myself off because a lot of times I find that after a not so good day, a not so good afternoon, you sleep it off, you get a fresh new perspective,
Mm.
you get recharged, a new perspective, a new kind of optimism towards the day ahead. That's the past now, and you get to focus on stuff that is ahead of you. So basically, wallow in your self pity, however long it takes, but don't keep wallowing it.
No, totally. So
Yeah.
only do it so much. Don't do it too much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you need to
Yeah.
exactly. Well, that's
Yeah.
my approach. I realize that I'm here now,
Yeah.
but it's not gonna be forever.
No, it's great. It's great. I think have something that can take care of, when that emotion comes,
Mm,
so that,
mm,
anticipating. I think that's a
mm,
great thing. So you're planning that when it does happen, there
Mhm.
is a way to deal
mm,
with it, right? So otherwise,
Yeah.
it's better than when you don't have it and it totally just overtakes your emotions and your mindset, right? So
Right.
no, great tip, great tip.
mm,
Yeah. Recognizing and doing often that it
mm,
makes it easier to switch quicker, right? Cry about it.
Mhm.
The more I do it, the
yeah,
more I fall through on the positive side, the
Yeah.
more I know that
yeah,
I can do that again and again and again. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Totally agree. How about you guys right now, in terms of sabotage? Like, is there any specific kind of characteristic or the saboteur that you guys are experiencing? Or
Yeah, I think the top one that comes up for me is restless.
okay, same.
Because in the journey right now, I'm wearing all like so many hats,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
Mm,
and it's just prioritizing, right? Versus
Hmm.
like, oh, having learned this, having learned this. So I've set things up where I just put into the parking lot, have
Yeah,
my wish list of books I want to read, right?
mm,
yeah,
And I just focus on the very next step in front of me.
yeah.
Yeah, and I
mm,
just got to remind myself that whenever that saboteur, restless, comes up,
Hmm.
okay, I know what you're doing, though I'm present. And part of the journey is I'm adding one piece at a time. Because then when I look
mm,
at someone that's further along, I'm like, oh my God, that's a beautiful system they have. Oh, you have some automated workflows and this works
mm,
well. And I think
Mm.
they just showed up like that. Though it was a
mm,
series of milestones over the years that they added pieces on. So by
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
realizing that, it could just take the pressure off myself, knowing that,
yeah.
hey, just keep going, keep refining. It's a process of refinement. I cannot be having this perfectionist attitude that I got to know everything.
mm,
That's where my restless
mm,
comes in. I got to study. I got to read this. I got to read that. I got to go down this path. I just got to do, and then just
mm,
do
Yes.
a lot, expand out, and then trim it down,
mm,
refine,
Yeah,
mm.
exactly.
and then do
Exactly.
again, trim it
Yep.
down, refine. Right?
Find your monster, man. Yeah. Be
Yeah. Yeah.
monstrous about everything. And
Mm,
no, totally. I think it's worth doing. It is
mm,
it is a journey in terms of challenges, the dragons that you have to kind of fight to get to the spot that, the treasure behind it that you want. So yeah, definitely at least you're fit. You're fit and
mm,
mentally fit too, Andre. I think um it just it gets really scary in a sense because it's new and it might not be something you've ever seen before too. But again, there's also a great excitement to, oh, Benny's up. Hey, Romy, I miss you too, Benny. Good chat, gents. Enjoying the show. Oh, you're awesome. So Benny's an amazing crypto kind of specialist and expert too. So
Oh, okay.
amazing, Benny.
Nice. Oh, I think we lost some volume there, Roman. Not able to hear you. Yeah, some little technical difficulties here at the moment, but we'll work through it. I'm hearing some beeping noise. No, no, still some beeping noise. We have music. LOL. Yeah, Like it's just like beeping music. Oh, now the music's in the background. No, there is background music though. Let me mute myself. There you go. Enjoying the beat. It's right, Nadia. Let's enjoy the beat. Uh, no. Can you say something? I'm saying something here. Yeah, Mike. The beeping is coming from your end. Yeah. Yeah. Still beeping. Oh. Well, Luke had to run anyways. Can you hear me, Rookie? Can you hear me? Okay. Great. Music is full. Yeah, it's pretty fly. Ustream is cool. Yeah. Got some nice music, some nice background. Yeah, yeah. All good. We'll see. We'll connect next Tuesday. Yeah, it's still a beeping sound. Yeah. It's the beats of egos clashing. That's really... Yeah, we'll look like we'll end it here. So Nadia, everyone else, Benny, still on here. Till next time, we'll connect back on next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Mountain. So I'm out while we work on these technical issues. I'm sure Romy's gonna still be playing this until he fixes. So enjoy the beat.
Hello, everybody. I'm back, but apologies about the tech difficulties, but my friends had to leave today, and we will be back next Tuesday to share a little bit more about the journey again. So thank you so much, and good day, and hopefully you're having a great evening and a great afternoon. So take care. Bye.